We are the Fourth. We are Southwest.
Tonight, Matt Moore returns to Tampa, where he pitched 6 seasons for the Rays. And they'll counter with rookie right-hander Yonny Chirinos against the Rangers. Welcome to sunny St. Petersburg, Florida, site of this evening's game, the Rangers and the Rays. Middle game of this 3-game series after the Rays took the opener last night. Inside Tropicana, welcome in everybody. I'm Dave Raymond with CJ Nitkowski. The Rangers trying to bounce back from last night's 8-4 loss, and they'll have to do it tonight without Jurickson Profar, who remains under concussion protocol after last night's injury, and we'll see as that develops the next coming days if indeed he'll have to go to the disabled list. Right now, just under protocol. For the Rangers, they're spread thin, but one guy who continues to really produce has been the young Joey Gallo.
Joey Gallo continues to show power. A year ago, he had a home run every 11 at-bats. Well, he's right there this year, every 12.3 at-bats, and the power was on display in this previous series against the Houston Astros. And we're going to take you through what Joey Gallo has been doing. You think about trying to find one way to pitch a guy. Well, take a look at this 86-mile-an-hour changeup from Garrett Cole. Pretty well located away, but Joey gets the arms extended, and he hammers that ball to deep right center field. Nice play by the fan. Then on Saturday, an 83-mile-an-hour slider that is located down and in, even off the plate, but Joey's able to drop the head, as we have seen him do so many times. Hits that one down the right field line, barely keeps it fair, but it was a line shot. And then last night, 95 miles an hour on a four-seam fastball from Blake Snell. It is good heat, but certainly Joey Gallo is capable of getting to good fastballs. That is the first home run that Blake had ever allowed to a left-handed hitter. Now look at the extension there with Joe, and you can see why 3 of his home runs so far have come on pitches that are middle away, but he's also shown tremendous plate coverage. You see the one there in yellow, down and in on the slider. So Joey Gallo really picking up where he left off a year ago.
Now, neither of these teams off to a particularly good start here in 2018, but for the Tampa Bay Rays, a unique spot in that their rotation somewhat thin, and they go with bullpen days. Yonny Chirinos gets the start today. What do we know about him?
Well, it's a little bit of an experiment they're doing here in Tampa as far as what happens in the 5th spot. Now, for Chirinos, this will be his 3rd start, but 4th game that he has pitched in for the Rays, and he's done an excellent job up to this point. They really like this guy a lot. A lot of sink that he uses below the zone. They really haven't had the kind of starter with this velocity with good movement, so they're excited about that, and so far, so good. As far as this experiment that they've been working on here with Chirinos, they'll get another shot to start tonight. All
right, should be interesting to see him. Matt Moore back in his old stadium tonight for the Rangers against the Rays. Now, both these teams lean on young players. Now, some by design, not necessarily the case for others. Nomar Mazara may be the key man among the youth for the Rangers, and he's in the spotlight with John Radigan when we come back. Is the best in Texas.
Welcome back to St. Petersburg, where winter is over. They had a tough winter yesterday. It was 62 degrees and very windy. Beautiful today, though, as we welcome you back to the Trop. John Radigan down on the dugout level. I'll be here all night, and for now, I've got the Shiner Box Spotlight. Tonight, we shine the light on Nomar Mazara. The quiet assassin is unbelievable. He has more home runs than any player in the game today, 23 and under. We hear so much about the likes of Cody Bellinger, but with the home run last night, Nomar passed him. And in the RBI category, Nomar reigns supreme. The numbers are staggering. He's 69 ahead of Bellinger after the 3-run bomb. That's after a 13-game RBI drought. Maybe, though, we should have seen this coming. If we'd been at a Rangers tryout camp in the Dominican 7 or 8 years ago, we would have. Ronald Guzman was there, and he saw Nomar hitting bombs as a 15-year-old. He said they threw him 15 pitches in batting practice. He hit 13 of them out, all to straightaway center field. Not sure if that's really how it happened, but that's how Guzzi remembers it. Look at the beach. You don't see any Rangers on there. This is a business trip. We're back to baseball right after this.
I remember that like it was yesterday, and he continues to add to the hit total. So you can see 23rd all-time with 3,066. Rangers captain closing in on the original captain, Cap Anson, number 22 all-time, and today would have been or would be Cap Anson's birthday. 27 seasons in the big leagues, dating back to 1871. He started with the Rockford Cities and then moved on to the Philadelphia A's in the National Association before the association crumbled and became, well, the National League. 3,081 career hits for Cap Anson, depending on who you ask, and we'll get into that a little bit later. I don't know that Adrian necessarily is too concerned about that actual number for Cap Anson. His number just keeps climbing.
Yeah, pretty incredible. So we wish Cap a happy birthday. So he was born in 1852. Yeah. So how's your math? That would make
166.
It would be 166 today. It's pretty good math, Dave Raymond. Nice job. Certainly interesting. I have written down here 3,080.
Oh, did you really?
It's 81 with an asterisk.
Well, again, it's that's a source of a little bit of controversy. Might be able to break that one down a little bit later on. In the meantime, Rangers set to get this one started against Yanni Chirinos. The young right-hander's first pitch, a little bit wide for ball one. So the Rangers lineup tonight, 6 wins, 12 losses. Chu up top again as the DH. Kiner Falefa, Nomar Mazara, Adrian Beltre, then it's Gallo, Guzman, Centeno, Drew Robinson in there at second base, and Carlos Tocci in center field with consecutive starts. 2-0 the count to Shin-Soo Choo.
And here's what they'll see from Chirinos. You just saw a couple of fastballs there with good movement. 48% of the time he will use that fastball. 44% of those so far have been two-seamers. You'll see a slider, and you will see a changeup as well. And a lot of lefties, as you just saw in the Ranger lineup. We will see how they do against that two-seam fastball. That's going to be the interesting part. 6 lefties in there. But when you have a good two-seam fastball and it runs away from lefties and you can locate it down and away, there's a good chance you'll get a lot of ground balls. So if the command is on, you might see a lot of that tonight.
Right now the command a little bit elusive for Chirinos. His 3-0 pitch, and Chu moves off the plate and will take his 4-pitch walk to start the ball game.
Well, here's the defense that will be behind Chirinos tonight here for the Tampa Bay Rays. Field, Smith, and Gomez in the outfield. Of course, Kevin Kiermaier down with an injury. Brandon Schneider, welcome back to the big leagues. He was activated today. Danny Echeverria at short. Daniel Robertson at second. C.J. Cron at first. And Wilson Ramos behind the plate.
So Chu is on via the walk. Now Isaiah Kiner Falefa, and he is at shortstop today. He takes a strike. So Kiner Falefa, the new shortstop now with Profar down. He is on or in the concussion protocol. Now that's governed by Major League Baseball at this point, so it's really not up to the Rangers. It'll be up to MLB to decide when and if Profar is physically suited to play again. 1-1 to Kiner Falefa.
So the walk, I said, a little bit of a surprise, especially a 4-pitch walk to start the game for Chirinos. He had a 1.4 per 9 walk rate in his career in the minor leagues. That is a beyond elite level. Average is right around 3 at the major league level, so a little bit surprising to see that 4-pitch walk.
Swing and a miss. He gets that one past Isaiah. 1-2 the count. Now, he does not walk a lot of guys, but he's also not necessarily in there to punch a lot of dudes out either. He likes those ground balls. This one hit on a line and into left field, so a base hit for Kiner Falefa. Walking a single to start this one tonight.
I left this pitch up to Isaiah, and he hammered it in to left field, and probably a day that he is going to remember. 3rd hit of his career as he passes C.J. Nitkowski on the all-time list. A good base hit there for him.
Yeah, that's official now.
Official. A chance we're going to get rained out, and the stats are going to go away for today's game, so we'll go ahead and call it official. But a nice job and a good opportunity. We have talked about for Kiner Falefa. At first it looked like second base he was going to get some starts, and it's amazing how the opportunities continue to open up, unfortunately for the Rangers with some of these injuries. But now he'll be the starting shortstop here for a little while until Profar can get back.
So 2 men on for Nomar Mazara, and he'll take a strike right at the bottom of the zone. 311 average for Nomar, couple of homers, 5 RBIs. A chance to drive in some more here. Great to see Mazara get the home run last night, a 2-for-4 night. One and one.
You can see Chirinos is very slow and deliberate. Before runners were on, going from the windup, he looked pretty slow. Kind of a slow tempo to his delivery. Now, of course, even with runners on, you don't want to be too slow. You worry about guys stealing bases, but in between pitches now, it's only been 14 plus innings, but his pace, according to Fangraphs, 28.9. League average is 23. That is significant when we talk about time in between pitches.
Well, he'll step off. Mazzara with those 3 RBIs last night with a home run. Snapped a career-long 13-game stretch that he had gone without an RBI. Guy who drove in better than 100 last year. 1-1. Ground ball, right side, and this one is kicked, and everybody is safe. Cron maybe had a decision to make when he was to get that one with the backhand. And if I were to guess, I would say that maybe he was starting to think a little bit about what he was going to do with the ball before he had it.
Yeah, he never really caught it cleanly or had any kind of clean exchange, because if you catch it perfectly, you're thinking about a potential double play. Good pitch there away. There's the movement that you're going to see. But watch C.J. Cron as he goes to his right and bobbles it almost immediately as it kicks out of his glove. And that spot right there, wasn't exactly sure. You hear me talk about this a lot, that internal clock as it goes glove to foot and then kick towards second base. Had he thrown that, it would have been close. I think he was kind of indecisive on whether or not he wanted to take that chance, and so he did not.
Well, with the bases loaded, they will put a shift on against Adrian Beltre, and he takes a fastball in. Adrian up there in a great spot now. You see 10 times he has managed to knock one out with the bases loaded in his career. The multi-run homers have been hard to come by for the Rangers. It's 2-0. Look at this shift.
Here they are.
We talk about the rarity of shifts against right-handers in Major League Baseball prior to, let's say, this year, but in particular with the bases loaded now.
Yeah, the Rays, especially against right-handers, you should see it there, 40.1%. That is the second highest in Major League Baseball. They're conceding the run, any ground ball, to the left side of the infield. And really, the only situation in which they might consider turning to would be a ground ball maybe right at the second baseman or right at the shortstop. It'd be tough to turn. We'll see. I guess any ground ball to the left side, they'd have a chance to do it. But C.J. Cron is pretty far off the bag. Anything to the right side, there's no chance, I don't think, you're turning to. It's a matter of which out do you want to get at first if he hits a ground ball to the, or which out do you want to get if you hit a ball to the right side at all. He's got a lot of decisions to make. He's in a really strange spot. The ball takes it to your right, you got to go to second base. If it's right at you, you're probably going to come home. At you to your left, and you're probably going to go to first. And these are all the things he has to think about based on any ground ball that Adrian Beltre potentially hits to the right side.
After a mound visit there, Chirinos steps off and resets again. Big pitch right here to Beltre. And he grooves it.
Now here's the thing with the shift and the pitch selection. Chirinos, a lot of two-seamers, you've seen him there, you see them run in. And he's got to keep that ball middle in. If he leaves it out over the plate, it's going to give Adrian an opportunity to hit the ball to right field. The slider as well, as the ball's breaking away from him, gives him a really great opportunity to drive something to the right side. Setting up, down and away. There it was. That was the slider away. You saw Adrian try to take it the other way, and he fouled it off. But that's the part where pitch selection and defensive shifts, I think you run into a little bit of an issue. Adrian Beltre, we know he can hit the ball the other way, no doubt about it. And so if you throw that pitch, you give him a chance to use the right side of the field, and there are no fielders over there. That's where you can really get burned in these kind of situations.
Bases loaded. A 2-2 count on Beltre. Here it comes. And that is ball 3, so a full count. Chu reached via the walk. Isaiah Kiner Falefa followed that with a base hit. He's at second. And then Nomar Mazzaro reached on the arrow.
The other thing is Nomar can get such a huge lead at first. C.J. Cron is a good 15 to 18 feet off the first base bag. He can get way off.
Payoff pitch. Beltre stays alive. He could probably get a bigger lead than he has, don't you think?
Without a doubt. This is interesting to me, and Steve Buechele was over there talking to Nomar a little bit and trying to figure this out, but there is no reason why Nomar Mazzaro cannot go right behind C.J. Cron. And if he comes back a step, then you come back a step. And the reason you want to do that, any slow ground ball, take away the option of throwing that ball to second base. Any base hit, you easily get to third. And if it's a double or extra base hit, you're going to increase your chances of scoring. So he has lots of room.
Beltre swings, hits his ball well out to left field. And that one caught by Field on the run. 2 tags, he'll score. And the Rangers score the first run of the night. It's 1-0. Well, sack fly for Beltre off the bat. Had visions of maybe just a little more.
He hit it hard. Sounded really good off the bat for Adrian. Unfortunately, they had him played pretty well. That's a quality at bat, though, making Chirinos work. And he'll take it as far as his first out of the inning. Certainly could have been a lot worse, but that's a nice job by Adrian.
The other runners stayed put. Kiner Falefa at second, Mazzara at first. And here's Joey Gallo. Gallo puts it on the ground, right side. Nice play on the right side of the infield there by Echeverria, I believe. And they take care of Gallo. What was Echeverria doing over there?
So what are you going to do here? How are you writing this one down?
That's gotta go as a 6-3.
This is crazy. This is going to be, first of all, a good pitch down and away. You see Joey just rolling over the top of it. So they had a shift on, and they didn't want Echeverria up the middle. They wanted him playing more of the second base position. And I don't know, he's 12, 15 feet from the foul line.
Yeah.
And that goes down as a 6-3. That's got to be some kind of record.
Ronald Guzman now with men at second and third, so a good spot for him. 4th game in Guzman's big league career. Already has his first big league homer. Got that in Houston, and a big one it was. Pitch from Chirinos, bounced right side. This time the second baseman Robertson is there, and it throws out Guzman. So the first 3 reached. The Rangers will settle for a run. And now Matt Moore in front of his old fans out for the Rangers. It was fun. It was fun. We really, really had a good time.
Yeah, thanks for the phone call.
Well, I mean, you were working early. Tampa Bay Rays now coming to bat for the first time tonight. 4 wins, 12 losses. Daniel Robertson, Danny Echeverria, and Carlos Gomez up at the top. Cron, Ramos, and Brandon Snyder just called up today. He's at third. Russ Snyder, Field, and Malik Smith once again batting 9th.
And maybe asking, what do I got to do to get out of the 9th spot?
For real. I mean, I think we're all kind of asking that right now. Is Matt Moore back at his old home ballpark and puts one right in there for a strike on Daniel Robertson.
Oh, look out.
is a big league bat toss right there.
All right. John Radigan seems to be okay. You see him back there, hey, Rats? We care about the most. Delano DeShields would like to get a bat in his hand here pretty soon. Ashley as well, hanging in there.
Well, Ashley didn't stop working. So
yeah.
During that moment, Ashley's continuing to photograph and make sure that she's capturing all the moments. Probably working on the exit velocity and launch angle of this one as well.
This bat went into those safety nets that we now see all ballparks have. Here, this one right above the dugout and into the net. Now, see a little kid there, so you feel good about the fact that it went into the net. The downside, not a lot of people here. If it didn't hit anybody, free bat.
Yeah, that's a great, I mean, a really good souvenir if you can get it. Also nice to have those kids
this way
safe.
So you can look at your phone in the front row. It's also important, right? That's part of the problem. It really is. Trying to get people to pay attention, of course, and phones are a distraction for all of us. So the net makes you a little bit, feel a little safer. I remember sitting, I don't know, about 9 or 10 rows back a couple of years ago, catching a game with my kids, and I was panicked the entire time a lefty was up. I couldn't relax.
There we go. Another one sails. This
I got you, honey. It still scares you a little bit, even though that net is there. There is no doubt that you jump a little bit. And well, the Rays are a little bit of a lower budget, lower payroll team. If they have any pine tar, could certainly lend them some. Pitch down the middle here, and foul tipped, and look at the reaction from Robertson. Robertson giveaway bat night here.
A little comebacker for Matt Moore. Takes care of it to retire Robertson. We'll go back and find some more pine tar.
Let's take a look at the pitch arsenal for Matt Moore. What he has done this season: 57% fastballs, 24% curveballs, the changeup, 19% usage for him this year. Won't you notice we've talked about this a lot, that the cutter has come out of the repertoire for Matt Moore. But don't be surprised if you see a couple, as he may start to ease it back in a little bit. It's kind of hard to let go of an old friend. The cutter is a pitch that has been good for him. He thought maybe take it out of the arsenal this year, but had a little bit of a slow start for Matt Moore. Whenever you go through that, change things up, whether it's mechanical, whether it's pitch usage, whatever it is, and then if you don't have immediate success, a lot of times you're thinking, man, maybe I shouldn't have made that change, and it's tough to get caught in between. We may see an occasional cutter for Matt Moore if he decides to break it back out.
Goes 1-1 on Danny Echeverria. 192 average for Echeverria. Light hitting shortstop. And he hits his ball hard out towards center field. It drops in front of Tochi. So Echeverria with a one-out single.
See this base hit from Echeverria, pitched up and away. 11th hit for him on the season. He has yet to record an extra base hit. They have been all singles up to this point. Take another one right there in front of Tochi.
Matt Moore takes on Danny Echeverria today by AARP. And you can see that is his first hit against Moore now. Hit 9 at bats.
They probably saw each other a lot in interleague play when Echeverria was with the Marlins, I would gather. Natural rivalry between the Marlins and the Rays.
Now Carlos Gomez, and he went around, strike one. You see the numbers for Gomez. Very late sign this offseason with Tampa Bay Rays. And pops this one up. Boy, is he upset. Smashes his bat. And he is the second out of the inning. My goodness.
Well, we know this about Carlos Gomez, always playing the game with high intensity. Expectations are always hard. He goes hard at everything that he does, and he liked that pitch. It looked like he thought about trying to break it over his knee for a second. His bat, I mean, watch it, there's a little bit of a, and then now just slam it here, and he'll need another one, and Matt Moore will certainly take that out. A little bit of a smile. I will tell you, on that side of it, you love seeing it. You love seeing hitters get that worked up about an out.
In on CJ Cron. Well, most of them, I'm sure, right? You love it because, I mean, now you feel like you're in the guy's head a little bit. But there have been some pitchers over the years who then sometimes, maybe they're just pretending to take offense.
Oh, some definitely
Right?
do.
Like what? You're supposed to get hits off me? Who are
Yeah,
you?
some guys get worked up about it. Madison Bumgarner's a great example. He doesn't take any antics from any hitter at any moment. He's just not having it because he's intense in what he does.
Chris Carpenter
as
was
well.
that way.
Yep, they don't like
He
it.
was the enforcer in the National League
Yeah.
for a while. I'll tell you when you can get mad.
I found it comical. I liked it. The 2 or 3 times it happened.
2-0 pitch. And this one lifted out to short right field. Drops in. That's a base hit. Echeverria heads to third. So 2 hits in the inning. The Rays have him cornered.
Just a little flare here from C.J. Cron on a pretty good pitch down and in, but he stays inside. Little loft as he hits this ball to right center field, and with 2 outs, no chance to get Echeverria. Smart move by Nomar Mazar. He thought about it for a minute, but did the right thing and just threw that ball into second base.
So there's Echeverria at third base. And Cron over at first. 2 hits in the inning. Wilson Ramos, the catcher, open stance there at the right side. Just a .217 average for him. And he'll take high for a ball. Ramos yesterday had the double in the 6th inning. 100th of his career. Good night overall, 3 hits. One and 1 the count. Rays had a huge night offensively last night. This is a Rays offense. It has gotten up to a very slow start. The 8 runs they scored last night, the most of the season. In fact, they had scored better than 5 runs, I think, on only 3 other occasions this year. 2 and 1 now the count. Matt Moore hoping to slow him down just a little bit more here this evening. Middle game of this 3-game series. Back out here tomorrow afternoon to wrap it up. Two.
So we'll see if Matt Moore decides ultimately if he wants to go to that changeup. As we showed you that arsenal of pitch that he uses 19% of the time. Wilson Ramos against the changeup going back to the beginning of last year against left-handers, hitting just .059. So maybe an ideal pitch to maybe try to finish him off. Looks like they're going to go curveball instead.
Bouncer, shortstop, and that one handled cleanly by Kiner Falefa. The inning is done. Rays leave a couple, and we go to the 2nd. take a look at our Kubota power stats tonight. Yonny Chirinos making the start tonight for the Tampa Bay Rays. 2 hits allowed in 19 at-bats with runners on base this season. That's pretty good. Last inning, he had the bases loaded. Did not give up a hit. A sac fly, a couple of ground balls, and he got out of it having allowed just 1 run.
That's been a little bit of an issue for the Rangers. They came into this game hitting just .083. The bases loaded, no home runs. Now it was a sac fly, so still .083.
Well, the 1 for 14 now. The average actually should dip just a touch. Is this one smacked out to center field, but hangs up for Malik Smith.
Well, after the sack, which doesn't count as an official at bat, right?
Oh, you're right. You're right. Bases no longer loaded. Okay.
Yeah, I'm here to set you straight.
Thank you. Thank you. What time is it?
What was all that, whatever you were doing on the beach and that thing? I'm going to wear you out a little bit. What is that called?
I have no idea. It's like.
It was kind of parasailing, but you had like a motor.
But there's a motor thing.
Was it heavy? Looked heavy.
Yeah, it was heavy.
It's amazing you did that at sunset and still got here on time.
Robinson tonight starting at second base, and he takes a strike from Chirinos. Yesterday, Drew Robinson had to come into the game and play shortstop in the second inning and finish the game at short. Today at second base, of course, he had become the everyday center fielder when Delano DeShields went down. And he drops a bunt third base side. That is a beauty.
Nice job. Very nice.
Base hit for Drew Robinson.
Has he been on now 3 straight plate appearances, right? Didn't he finish with a walk and a hit yesterday? Memory serves, a good two-seam fastball, but does a nice job. We know Drew had been struggling a little bit offensively, and this is a really smart play on his part. Take advantage of the opportunity, and now 3 quality plate appearances in a row here for Drew Robinson as he busts it out of the box, takes a peek in. I like it.
Yeah, he needed a little lift offensively.
Yeah, definitely. So good to see that happen. Hopefully starting a nice little run here for Drew Robinson.
Tochi could use a little of the same as he takes one just a little bit wide for a ball.
Good to see him in the lineup today too, right after what happened with him yesterday going into the center field wall. He looked a little bit shaken up, but he also tried to downplay it a little bit. He knows all the injuries that the Rangers were having, and he stayed in the game. They checked him out. Had a good effort on a ball up against the center field wall.
Chirinos with the set, and Robinson didn't have a huge lead, but checks on him anyway.
Well, Ramos has not thrown out potential base stealer this year, 8 for 8. And the Rangers on the same side. Opposing teams 10 for 10 against the Rangers so far this season.
And Robinson can run. Tochi takes a strike. It's 1-1. Tochi 1 hit in 16 at bats as a big leaguer. A Rule 5 selection this last offseason. Rangers acquired him in a trade out of that Rule 5. So as a Rule 5 draftee, you are mandated to stay on the 25-man roster all year. Getting some regular starts all of a sudden in center field. Robinson's going a swing, and that one is blooped out to right field. It will drop in, base hit. Robinson with a good start. We get all the way to third. And Tochi with his second hit of the season. It ties him on the all-time hit list.
Yeah, he's on there and moving his way up. And I got to tell you, I wanted to say something and I didn't. I wondered about the hit and run for him and if it would be a good idea maybe to try to get him going a little bit. And this obviously was that because it was a pitch out of the zone. But with Robinson on the run, they wanted Tochi swinging the bat. He did exactly what he was supposed to do. You try to get on top of the ball. You're really trying to hit a ground ball to the right side. But just getting the ball in play any way that you can. Of course, you have to swing on a hit and run no matter where the pitch is. It was a tough pitch to handle. He did a nice job.
So again, a little something developing in the second inning. 1 out. Lineup turned over now as Shin-Soo Choo takes one wide for ball 5. He did not see a strike in his first at bat.
Well, I'll tell you what I like about that play as well is that even though we saw the 4-pitch walk to Choo to start off the game, we know that Chirinos fills up the strike zone. We also know that he gets a lot of ground balls. And so the idea of putting Drew Robinson in motion, forcing Tochi to swing the bat a little bit. It was a smart play that worked out really well.
This one lifted in the air down the left field line. Field ranging over and in good position. Robinson able to tag. He'll score. So a couple of sacked flies early on, and the Rangers lead 2-0. Good at bat by Chu.
Small ball here by the Texas Rangers in this inning. Bunt for a hit and run, sack fly. It's a good job all the way around. Good pitch, by the way. That is off the plate. Split finger at 85 miles an hour. That changeup for Chirinos is really more of a split, called a split change. It's a hard pitch to get in the air, but Chu did a great job.
Kiner Falefa hits this ball hard. Field was in. That one over his head and up against the wall. Tochi can run a little bit, but they'll stop him at third. Kiner Falefa with a double. Boy, that ball absolutely belted by Kiner Falefa, and Field knew it, I think, immediately that he was too shallow.
A couple of good swings here through 2 at-bats for Kiner Falefa. You'll see a slider. It just kind of spun and sat there in the middle of the plate, and it was elevated. He doesn't wait around. Sees something that he likes, jumps all over it, and drilled this ball. You said it. One hop to the wall. Good start to this game for Kiner Falefa.
2 for 2 for him. And now a visit out on the mound. So that's the second visit already, I believe, taken by the Rays. So, I mean, you only get 6 for crying out loud.
They're going to use them early. Do they not have it on their scoreboard here?
They have to. It's a Major League mandate, so it's somewhere hidden on some scoreboard in the ballpark.
Oh,
there you go. Mound visits remaining, 6 and 5, but that is not correct. Maybe they only move it once.
Well, they just mark it right now. So after he comes off, the umpire will look up, and there it goes. And excuse me, sir. Can't see that number.
Okay, so now here is Mazzara. Mazzara reached on the error in the first.
Could that be a strategic play as you get down to just a few? Put a security guard in front of the number so nobody can see it.
Chirinos gets the benefit of a call right there from Alfonso Marquez. And you can see Mazzara not real pleased with it. Ground ball right side. That is the second baseman Robertson who picks it up. And the inning is done. The Rangers leave a couple in scoring position. We played 1.5. Rangers lead by 2.
over the Rays. We're going to take a look at the Rangers defense, which is delivered to you by Texas Farm Bureau Insurance. Joey Gallo, Tochi, and Mazzara are in the outfield. There's Matt Moore. He's on the mound. Let's give you the infield as well. Beltre, Kiner Falefa, Drew Robinson, Ronald Guzman, and Juan Centeno getting the start tonight. Backup catcher to Robinson Chirinos.
Strike 1-1 to Brandon Snyder, the former Texas Ranger. Snyder just called up today. In a hole here, 1-2. It was a AAA Durham, but Matt Duffy was placed on the disabled list. Snyder called up. Well, he has had a long, winding road through this game of baseball. And he takes strike 3 called. Down looking, first strikeout of the night for Matt Moore. 1 away.
Quick work here for Matt Moore against Schneider. You see the 4th pitch here after fastball, cutter, and changeup. He goes back to the fastball. He knew it right away. Well located on the inside corner. Good job by Centeno to stick that pitch, hold it right there. 93 miles an hour from Matt Moore.
His first offering to Refsnyder was fouled away. Rob Refsnyder, designated hitter. 1 hit in 14 at bats so far. So they have some spots in the lineup that have gotten off to a very slow start this year. Ground ball back up the middle, off of Moore, and that's going to be just enough to slow it down. Refsnyder with an infield hit.
First hit of the year for Refsnyder against a left-handed pitcher, and Matt Moore made a run at it, tried to keep him at an 0 for 10. He was 0 for 9 coming into this one, was Refsnyder, but this ball was hit pretty hard. You'll see the reaction here from Matt Moore. It was right at his glove, and you see the frustration. You feel like you should catch all those, as difficult as it is. Here's your high home view. One got on him pretty quickly, and I think if he didn't slow that down, good chance I was going to make it up the middle anyway on its own.
So 3rd hit for the Rays. And now left fielder Johnny Field. And a breaking ball right in there for a strike. Field brings a 200 average into play today. And he was a very recent addition from the Durham roster. Selected prior to Friday's game against Philadelphia. Takes another breaking ball, bounces it to the 3rd base side, and another quick touch by Moore, and again, just enough to keep Beltre from making that play.
Did he touch that? I couldn't tell if
he did, I think.
You think he slowed it down? I couldn't tell if he whiffed it, if he nicked it, or if he tried to pull back because he thought Adrian was going to have a better angle to catch that ball. Let's take a look at the pitch first here from Matt Moore. Good breaking ball, gets really weak contact, exactly what he was trying to do. You see Field put his head down and just take off, but I thought, let's see, get a better look at it here. Couldn't tell if he changed his mind or he just flat out missed it.
That was weird.
See it right there? Maybe he did. And Adrian at that point, nothing he can do. They gave Matt Moore an error on that one. And he should have caught that ball and probably made the play. But I couldn't tell, right? Did it look like he might have changed his mind, maybe?
Both look possible. The breaking ball, this one in there for a strike to Malik Smith. It goes as an E1.
Well, as much as I talked about, Refsnyder came in 0 for 9 against lefties. Field, that's his, well, he had to get a hit there. He's 0 for 2. No lefty has gotten Malik Smith out this year.
This one lined to shortstop, and that'll be a double play to end the inning. Kiner Falefa positioned perfectly, and Malik Smith hit it well, but right into the double play.
Ah, perfect. He was 6 for 6. Make it 6 for 7. Great catch on this line drive. Right man, right spot. Easy double play.
early on, and Adrian Beltre will start things off here in the third. Beltre, Joey Gallo, and Ronald Guzman. Yanni Chirinos out for a third inning of work, and the right-hander's first pitch, swing and a miss. Beltre had the sac fly back in the first inning. That got the Rangers' first run. Chu chipped in with a sac fly of his own last inning to make it 2-0. Foul out of play. By the way, coming up, the Adrian Beltre 3,000th hit mini bat giveaway, courtesy of Falcon Tires. The first 15,000 fans to the ballpark take home the bat, get a chance to relive the historic moment from last summer. You can get your tickets TexasRangers.com or by calling 972-RANGERS, and that is Friday, April 20th, just a couple of days away. 1-2 to Beltre. $3,066 hits for Adrian Beltre. And he stays alive here. Just 3 on this trip for him. 3 for 15 coming into play tonight. One of them, though, a home run. That was good to see in Houston.
First one of the year, right, for Adrian. Yep. Opposite field again. Kind of makes the shift that we see on him, especially with runners on base, a little bit surprising. Now it's not as bad now, and C.J. Cron can play a little bit deeper on the first base side, which gives him a lot more room for range. Robertson shaded over a little bit more than last time Adrian was up with the bases loaded.
Well, Beltre, 39 years old. Came to the big leagues as a 19-year-old. Just celebrated his birthday. The 2-2 pitch. Little chopper, first base side. Easy play for Cron. He feeds Chirinos, 1 away. So we're talking about birthdays earlier for Cap Anson, the guy next on the list for Adrian Beltre. You said you had Anson for 3,080 hits. Baseball Reference, including those games in the National Association, had him for 3,400. 3,081, a common one. You can see 3,011 is how Major League Baseball recognizes it. Total Baseball is the group recognized by Major League Baseball as the official records keeper. Macmillan Encyclopedia randomly added 5 hits to get into 3,000 based on their accounting. It's really weird when you go back and you look at why Cap Anson's numbers range so wildly. You're talking about a guy who completed his career before 1900.
Sure.
Record keeping wasn't really a thing.
No, we just said Total Baseball had him at 3,056, and that they were the official record keepers. And why do we say 80?
This one lifted out to left field. Woo! Field. Going to track it down. I don't know that I could properly answer that question.
Okay.
We at Fox, we recognize the number 3,081 as the total hits by Cap Anson. But the problem is, you know, back then teams had an official scorekeeper and records keeper. The newspapers were largely responsible for keeping the records as well. Nobody cared or knew that 3,000, the number of hits, would ever be a relevant, interesting thing.
Yep.
It really didn't become an issue until the next guys approaching that number were coming along. Matt Lajoie and Honus Wagner in 1914. And then you started to see all these researchers come out and newspapers trying to cobble together their records. But over the years, wild discrepancies. And then this was the killer. 1969. Researchers found that Major League Baseball took 1 year, 1887, and they said hits and walks are the same thing. So if you have a walk, counts as a hit. They went back, they saw that Anson had 60 walks. They said, well, wait a minute, we can't be counting those. So that became about a 10-year argument. In any case, he had a lot of hits, and Beltre's going to have more before too long. But the Rangers go quietly in the third.
over the home team, the Tampa Bay Rays. This place also still feels like home to Matt Moore, who trudges out to the mound for his third inning of work in his first ever visiting start here. He, of course, had his entire career here from 11 to 16. He was drafted by the organization, really loves it here, and loved his time here. He was emotional yesterday as he talked about his return. He said all he heard the whole day yesterday was, "Welcome back, Matt." He said it took him 15 minutes to get in from the parking lot into the clubhouse because he had to spend so much time talking to Vinny and Bertie and Jimmy. And I think the fact that he takes time and makes time for Vinny and Bertie and Jimmy in the parking lot says a lot about who Matt Moore is, and makes me root even harder that he gets back to like 2013, guys, when he was 17-4.
Yeah, no, it's a really good point, John, and it was so cool hearing him talk about walking in and how long it took him to get to the clubhouse. So many guys talk about when they come back to their old ballpark that they couldn't find the clubhouse, right? The visiting clubhouse. Like, I don't know how to get there.
Accidentally walk into the home clubhouse, or at least make your way over there a little bit. But Matt Moore has had a lot of success. This will be now his 49th start here at Tropicana Field. Of course, this is his first one wearing a different uniform, but he's done well here. .239 batting average against over the years. 21 wins to go with a 3.76 ERA.
He surrenders his first walk of the night. Leadoff man Daniel Robertson aboard.
There's that year that John Radigan was just talking about. 17-4 that year. Started the season 8-0. That career best 3.29 ERA. He was an all-star that year back in 2013. I just remember watching Matt Moore when he first got to the big leagues and so impressed with the looseness of his arm, the free and easy fastball that would touch 97 at times. This is prior to that Tommy John surgery that he had, then the time, of course, that he missed 2016. But it was a free and easy live fastball. Excuse me, 14.
It goes from the stretch here, and there's a swing and a miss by Echeverria. 1-1. Echeverria got on with a base hit in the first inning. As you pointed out, that base hit in the first, his 10th safety of the year, all of them singles. Pardon me, 11th. Little flare out to right field, and that one drops in front of Mazzara. So the first 2 men aboard here in the third inning.
So we mentioned Matt Moore, the history here with the Rays. This is his first ever career start. September 2011. He had to do it against the New York Yankees and a future Hall of Famer and Derek Jeter. And do it against Raul Ibanez, Jorge Posada, Andrew Jones, a questionable Hall of Famer. Of course, Chris Dickerson there. Everybody knows him. And then Eduardo Nunez. A lot of guys still playing. Big start for him back in 2011. And Tampa Bay Rays fan base got pretty excited seeing their lefty do that.
Boy, that was right at the peak of their great run as well. As he rushes one past Carlos Gomez for a strike. That was in that stretch of what, like 6 years, where it would win better than 90 games 5 times, go to 4 postseasons, including at 2011. Boy, was he a jolt of electricity at the end of that season. There's a bunt attempt by Gomez, and he takes strike 2. There you go, look at that heyday for this Rays organization. Since that, on the left of your screen there, that 2013 wild card game, it has been pretty thin pickings around here. They have had 4 consecutive losing seasons.
You remember who that World Series they went to against, who the MVP was?
Yeah, that was the Phillies and Hamels in 08.
Was Hamels an 08 MVP?
I believe so.
Yeah, that's right. Let me second guess myself there for a minute.
Yeah,
No,
that was me.
No apologies there.
Did somebody say World Series MVP? I know.
Ironic that the Rays went to the World Series the first year that they dropped Devil Rays or Devil.
That
from
was,
their
yeah,
pen.
right? When it cost $1 fine every time you accidentally said Devils. 0-2. A little bit low. That took me a couple years to get rid of that. Gomez popped up in the first inning, and he had a bat that was a casualty of that pop-up. He was upset.
Self-inflicted.
Yeah. 2, and that one line foul.
Oh. And now, for that ball boy, for the rest of today, you see already, here they go. Literally every single guy has said something to him already in that bullpen. That didn't take long at all. You see, all in good fun, but here's the downside. It's a great job if you can catch those ground balls, and it actually caught him on the left shin. Chris Martin already in his face. Jake Diekman has something to say. Dylan Lincecum had something to say. Jebsen, each and every one of those guys.
Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Gomez strikes out for the first out of the inning. Second punch out from Matt Moore tonight. Time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back to Rick Renner. All right, thanks, Rick.
Good for Randall Grichuk. He has been struggling, and got some questions there about whether or not he was going to even be able to stay in that starting lineup for them.
Smashed down to third. Beltran knocked it down. Picked up by Kiner Falefa. His throw to first. Knocked down as well. And that's going to allow Robertson to score. Well, the baseball batted around a little bit there. And just a sliver of opportunity, and Robertson took advantage.
First of all, watch the pitch here. Breaking ball down the middle. C.J. Cron hits it pretty hard. You're going to watch Adrian Beltre try to make an unbelievable diving play. He knocks that ball towards short. Nice job by Kiner Falefa to pick it up, and then he throws it away, and Ronald Guzman did a good job of at least getting a glove on this ball. This throw was a little bit wild. Almost looked like Kiner Falefa might have grabbed it as a changeup. That's a tremendous block right there. Ronald Guzman, unfortunately, didn't know where the ball went after that. That allowed the run to score. So you have to give an error because, at least one error because of the advance from third to home.
For sure.
Had the runner not scored, I don't think he would have given an error there. It was a pretty tough play, I don't think, at least.
No, I agree. I think you would just call it an infield hit and then an error. Yeah, that's how we'll go down. E6. So now a 2-1 ball game. Echeverria's at second, Cron at first. Pitch to Ramos right in there, makes it 0-2. Well, Moore has pitched around a little bit of traffic so far tonight. He'd been on the corners in the first inning. Had a couple of base runners on in the second with one out. The 0-2. Move it in.
So I mentioned the weakness of Wilson Ramos against the lefty changeup going back to the beginning of last year. He didn't see one in his first at bat. The bigger spot here, runners at first and second. So far, Matt Moore has thrown him a couple of changeups.
Breaking ball bounced up the middle. Nice backhand pick to Falefa for one, and over to first in time to get Ramos. That's Kiner Falefa. Maybe just shorten it.
Really good turn here up the middle. A nice execution of a game plan. There's Robinson to Kiner Falefa. An unusual turn, but he makes it with a great throw.
Visit your local GMC dealer today. There you go. There are the Rays. We've been out to the Ray tank before.
I have not been out there. Have you?
Yeah, a couple years ago.
You stick your hand in there? You're allowed to, right?
You are. Yep. And it's no big deal. I don't think they mind. You can pet them.
Definitely one of the coolest ballpark features, would you say?
Yeah, I think that's I
around
think
the
it's
league.
a fun one. Yeah, I think it's a really good one. They have the aquariums in Miami behind home plate.
Mm-hmm.
Those are a little weird.
Yeah.
But this is pretty cool because you have access to it. You go over there and pet a Ray if you want. Juan Centeno leading off the 4th inning. Tried to hold up, but he did not. Marquez said that's a swinging strike, so the count 0-2.
And those are
Centeno
the,
flat out second.
Those are the only Rays you're allowed to pet here, right? You can't just walk up and
Are you Ray?
pet a
Excuse me,
regular
Ray?
Ray. Or I meant like in the bullpen, right? You get
Oh.
pretty close here. There's access.
Yeah.
No petting the players. Look out. See, I'd be a little jumpy. They don't have teeth to
Centeno
it.
takes strike 3 called, and there's one away. No, I don't think there's any real issue with sticking your hand in there. When I was a kid, I stepped on a Ray once. Like one of those things where you're trying to keep your nose above water, right? And you're bouncing, your toes touching. And so apparently, I landed right on the back of a Ray, and in that infinitesimal moment that your foot's touching like that, the tail came up, stung the top of my foot.
No way.
And let me tell you, brother, that hurt.
Really?
Yeah. And the poison and whatnot starts climbing and get up to your knee and whatnot.
Ooh.
That's really scary. But so I don't think they like that sort of thing.
So you can't get in there and jump
And
up
step
and down.
on. Do not step on the Ray.
I think I'm out all the way around. No teeth or teeth, you said?
Well, I don't think they have teeth. Robinson laid down a beautiful bunt single in the second inning. His first hit, as you pointed out after that, he has now reached base safely his last 3 plate appearances. That one caught the handle for a foul, 1-2.
A heavy shift here for Drew Robinson as well to the right side. Now with 2 strikes, the third baseman Snyder can essentially go play shortstop, but he's playing a bit more on that third base side. Again, interesting because you go off type of pitcher. When you're a left-handed hitter and knowing you're getting a lot of 2-seam fastballs, it just seems middle and away would be the approach so you don't roll over that sinker and hit a ground ball to the right side. The issue is, I think, when you have a good one, the way that, say, Bartolo Colon does as an example with that good late life on it, you see that pitch and you're starting to tell yourself, that's not going to move as much as his other one. And then it moves late. And by the time you've already committed to a ball in a different spot, and that's when you hit those weaker ground balls.
This one out to center field. Smith angling back. 2 away. So you might have heard Smash Mouth is going to be performing a post-game concert this Saturday presented by Budweiser. It's a 7:05 game, Mariners and Rangers, and then the concert coming after the game. Go to texasrangers.com/concert for tickets and for information on field passes. Should be fun this Saturday. Also going to be interesting to see the Mariners this weekend. Seattle playing a little better lately. 9-5 coming into play today, and a liner as shortstop Echeverria hauls it in for a quick 1-2-3 top of the 4th. Rangers still lead by 1.
the Rangers defense. We know, of course, double play is a big part of what the Rangers have done. Well, that line shot to Isaiah Kiner-Falefa turned into a 6 unassisted double play. And this was a very nice turn off the bat of Wilson Ramos from Drew Robinson to Kiner-Falefa over to Ronald Guzman.
Now a bouncer third, long throw for Beltre, and it's in time.
The Rangers came in to this game second in the league with 20 double plays. Add 2 more to that, 22 would give them the lead. The Blue Jays were leading at 21. They have a doubleheader today. They've already finished their first game. So I don't know if they turned any double plays there, but certainly, once again for the Rangers, near the top in all of baseball.
One quick out here in the 4th inning. And now Rob Refsnyder, the designated hitter, reached on a comebacker. Glanced off Moore for his infield hit. Just the second hit of the season for Refsnyder. 2-1, Rangers leading. Oh, and 2. I missed it. What the fan do?
Well, I was watching the guy that was going for it. I think the guy behind him was not looking.
Oh.
Everyone seems to be okay. There was a little girl up there too. No injuries. It looked like it got the older gentleman in the leg, maybe. I think everybody's okay.
Ball and 2 strikes on Refsnyder.
More importantly, she got the ball.
Moore with a couple of strikeouts so far. And another roller to Beltre. Has some time, sets up, and throws it over to the Condor at first base. 2 away. I love that nickname, by the way, the Condor.
I was going to say, did you give it to him or somebody else?
No, that name was given to him when he was in the low minor leagues. Ronald Guzman, he's 6'5". He and I had a long discussion the other day about his actual height, because there's some places where you'll see him listed as 6'6". He says, no, I'm 6'5". They thought I would grow a little bit. He said, I'm 6'5". He says, they still have me as 220. He says, I'm like 250. And but I said, well, where did the name? Give me the history on the name. He said, well, there's a picture of me digging a throw at first base, and as I'm stretching out with my glove hand, my throwing arm stretches out the other way.
Oh,
He's
wow.
like, and I do have a big wingspan.
Sure.
And they called me the Condor.
Nice.
And he likes the nickname. Likes it a lot, right?
Yeah.
And so his teammates do too. I said, oh, do you have any other nicknames? Did you have any growing up, that kind of stuff? He said, well, I did have one other nickname. I said, yeah. He said, Gumby. I said, Gumby?
It's a great name for a first baseman.
Yeah, it is. High fly out there to center field, and Tochi is there. We'll get into the Gumby thing in a little bit. But Matt Moore looking really sharp through 4 tonight.
A little bit of small ball here from the Texas Rangers. A couple of sac flies. First in the first inning from Adrian Beltre. That scored Chu, who reached base on a walk. And then Chu's turn for his sacrifice fly out to left field. That scored Drew Robinson, who reached on a bunt base hit. So the Rangers putting together some nice quality at bats here against Chirinos tonight. And now, third time through the order with Chu leading off the fifth.
Chu with a walk and a sac fly, so good productive night for him. Scored a run and driven in one.
About a total of 17 pitches thrown in the fourth inning, the entire fourth inning.
That's about as efficient an inning top to bottom we've seen this year.
9 from Chirinos and then 8 from Matt Moore.
High. 2-0. Things go well this inning. Ronald Guzman could find himself to the plate. He'd be due up 6. It was Scott Lucas who gave him the name, the Condor. And one tweak, one correction on the story. He was not digging the ball. He was kind of fielding a ball in motion and throwing. Right? A little bit like Beltre does at third. He was doing it from first base. And so you see him kind of the ball back in a cocked position to throw, and the glove hand up, and so his head's going forward. He does look like a condor. He looks like he's flying.
Showing
awesome.
off the wingspan a little bit.
We'll have to get a copy of that picture and see if we can put it on here.
I think he'd make the all MLB basketball defense team. Looks like he could play some pretty good defense with that wingspan.
Well, and of course, he was childhood teammates with Nomar Mazara. They've been playing baseball together since they were 14 years old. And Mazara loves to play basketball. Pretty good at it. This one high, and there's ball 4. And so for the second time tonight, Chu has walked to open an inning.
It was Nomar's dad, right? They talked him out of basketball.
Yes.
And it's all said and done. So listen, your future is going to be in baseball. LeBron James guy, right? Wasn't that his guy, if I'm not mistaken? Sound familiar? No, you're looking at it.
Yeah, I mean, that detail escapes me.
Nevertheless,
but he,
smart choice.
And Nomar, I mean, he's had a little formal schooling on basketball. He worked hard at it, and I was asking Guzman about that. I said, "Well, you clearly could play a little basketball." I said, "Oh yeah," I said, "I can block a shot." He said, "I've got the long arms and whatnot." He said, "But I can't." He said, "I'm not as good handling the ball, shooting the ball as he is." He said, "Get it to me inside. I'll put it in."
Yeah.
He said, "But Nomar's, really well-rounded."
Nomar's listed at what, 6'4" or 6'5"?
6'4".
Yeah, be a good one-on-one. I'd watch it. I'd pay to watch that in spring training. Guzman, Mazara, one-on-one.
This one lined up the middle by Kiner Falefa. His third hit of the night. Chu stops at second base, and the first 2 men are on as we check in with John Radigan.
Yeah, so you talked about how they do look like basketball players, right? But I was talking to Gallo about that team, and they all got together for the first time professionally in that Arizona League right after they were drafted. And he says as they'd walk around, in street clothes, and they'd go from here to there together, the 3 of them, people would look at them and say, "Are you a football team?" I mean, they're all 6'5", 215. He's like, we were thinking basketball. Everybody else was looking at them thinking they were a football team, and here they were a baseball team, guys.
That's awesome. Well, we were in Houston, and Guzman was getting off the elevator in a Golden State Warriors jersey.
That's right.
And somebody got on the elevator with us. Like, ooh, was that a basketball player?
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, because the Golden State Warriors walk around with their jerseys on all day. Bouncer to second base. It's Echeverria who flips it to second to start a would-be double play, but some good hustle by Mazara down the line, stays out of it. And so it's a 6-4 force out at second on what would have been a...
I'm writing 4-6.
But was it?
Just out of protest more than anything. But you're right. It's so interesting when they decide they want Echeverria on the right side. Now, let me ask you this. You think about it. We'll take a look at Nomar out of the box. There's that good two-seam. That's a really good pitch with good movement down and away. And Nomar, unfortunately, rolls over that pitch out. Is actually the changeup, the split. They look very similar. The difference is the velocity. So that one was at 83. But I wonder if they're doing this based on what side of the infield they think he's going to hit a ground ball, or which one they want, and where they want the guy that they believe has the most range to play. Right, so imagine if you got one infielder of your 2 middle infielders that has significant more range than the other. Do you want to go ahead and put that guy on the side where you think the highest percentage chance of a ground ball is coming because you think he's going to have more range? I wonder if that is what goes into that.
I mean, certainly there's plenty of logic to that, right? Beltre has a sac fly already tonight and hits this ball well out to center field. Malik Smith is back, and he'll make the catch, tagging at third base Chu. Another sac fly for Beltre, and it's 3-1. Seems to be a well-practiced skill for Beltre tonight.
Well, it's a quality at bat when you think about what you're trying to do in that situation. You have runners at first and third, less than 2 outs. A fly ball will get you another run on the board. Let's just see that split finger sitting up in the zone a little bit more for Adrian, and no chance for Malik Smith as Chu just trots home easily.
So now Joey Gallo, 0 for 2. Gallo was grounded out and flied out. So a run in on the sac fly, 3-1. Rangers lead. Don't take low. 1-1. Talk about Gallo being looking like a football player, and it is true. You walk by these guys and they could easily pose as a football team, but better for me a basketball team when you see them all together. Off the plate, 2-1. Gallo, though, growing up in Las Vegas, he graduated from Bishop Gorman High School, and he graduated with Shabazz Muhammad, who, of course, the eventual first-round draft pick of the Minnesota Timberwolves. And he said that occasionally he would go dunk with Shabazz. I don't think he had any, passions of anyone believing that he was better than Muhammad at basketball, but
it's an interesting just activity in itself. Like, we'll play some basketball.
Yeah.
Let's go dunk.
Listen, if I could dunk, that's all I would do.
I hear you, buddy. I would too. You want to go dunk?
Hey, man, what are you doing? I'm gonna go dunk. 2-2. How about the skill set, though, when you're in high school? Here's a guy who could throw 100 miles per hour and did in competitive situations, who could hit a ball further than pretty much anybody on the planet and could dunk.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
You're probably feeling like I've got a future here somewhere.
So, something's going to work out. It's funny, in the age of Shohei Ohtani,
yeah,
just kind of makes you wonder a little bit. Could Joey have done both?
3-2. Runner goes, and that one is inside, ball 4. So Gallo draws the 2-out walk. And it will get the Condor to the plate.
Number 67, Guzman.
Here comes Guzman. We'll have to see if Scott Lucas will let us borrow that picture and use it during one of our broadcasts. But there you see, I don't know, 23 years old from the Dominican.
So he's saying add 25 to that. It said 225.
Yeah, that's incorrect. He's 250. Said he's gotten a little bit more than that in the past. He said, but 250, I think that's my ideal playing weight. Good strength. He's added a little bit of strength and obviously a little bit of weight, muscle weight in recent years.
Still very agile for his size and his weight. We've seen him over there at first base doing some good work, good footwork, offers some really nice range for throws. He's had some wild throws that he has had to deal with already. This is a nice mix here. It's very interesting with Guzman. What's going to happen here over the long term? How much time he'll get. Right now, those starts seem like they'll only come against right-handed pitchers, which of course there's going to be way more righties than lefties. I'm excited for him to see what he can do here during the stint.
1-2 the count. So the Gumby nickname. I said, well, who gave you that nickname? And I said, one of my first host families. And he said, it was toward the end of the year, and they were calling me Gumby. And he said they even gave me a little Gumby doll.
We still have it?
Yeah, he'd put it in his locker. And I told him, I said, of the two nicknames, I think I'd probably go with Condor. Gumby's cool, but Condor's intimidating.
You'd be more scared to face a Condor than you would Gumby in any situation.
Did Gumby meet his demise? No, that was Mr. Bill.
Steamroller.
Yeah,
Thought he bounced back pretty well.
He did. He was resilient. There's no doubt about that. 2-2. And this ball hit well out toward right center field. Smith can't get to that one, and it drops down and takes him all the way to the fence. Mazzara is in. Gallo got a good jump. He'll score, and the Condor will return to second. A 2-run double, and he's extended the Rangers' lead to 5-1.
Great at bat here from Ronald Guzman in a big spot with a couple of runners on. Down to 2 strikes, gets a pitch that's middle away and drives this ball to right center field. Malik Smith was actually shaded toward left field with Guzman up, and Mazzara scores easily. Nice job of running the bases from Joey Gallo as well as he trots in. This is fun to watch. See the big turn there. Fun to watch the young guys and what they have done so far tonight. Isaiah Kiner-Falefa with his 3 hits. Guzman with his first of the night, but a couple of RBIs.
So now Centeno 0 for 2. Ball hard in the second inning. It was caught by Smith. Struck out looking his last time up. It's 2-0.
I mentioned what a smooth inning it was for Chirinos in the 4th, in which he threw just 9 pitches, but 23 now so far in this inning, so a little bit of a different story.
And bodies beginning to stir down the right field line in the Rays bullpen.
He's at a season high for pitches, number 76 that he just threw. 75 was his previous high in his last start, in which he went 5 1/3 innings.
His pitch count had been in the 50s in his first 2 appearances, so probably getting toward the end of the line anyway. And running into trouble in this 5th inning. Rangers have put together 3 runs already. Centeno taken all the way. It's 3-1. You see the numbers for Chirinos. He's a big, strong kid. Just him at 6'2" from Venezuela. And he's just 24 years old. Bouncer second base. Robertson on top of it, and that will end the inning. But the Rangers add 3 runs.
Well, 2 of those thanks to Ronald Guzman, who takes that split change and drills it into right center field for a double, a couple RBIs, and he does it right to left on the swipe.
5-1. And our TXU Energy power player to watch, Mallex Smith, who leads things off here in the bottom of the 5th for the Rays.
Take a look at Mallex Smith. It's been a good year for him so far. Over his last 7 games, though, hitting .536. How about that? 15-4, 28. 5 of those games have been multi-hit games for Mallex. I mentioned Matt Moore got him the line out in his first at bat. It was a double play, and it was the first time a left-handed pitcher had gotten him out this year. He's 6 for 7 now against lefties. And that line out, even though it was an out, was a double play. He hit it 95 miles an hour. He hit it pretty well. He's locked in offensively this year.
Takes high, 2-0. It's interesting, he's putting up such good numbers right now, and they are getting great production from the bottom of the order, but he continues to bat 9th. I'm sure there's got to be temptation to move him up.
I think for Kevin Cash, he's certainly been surprised at the production that they're getting from Mallex Smith, and the Rays are certainly an out-of-the-box kind of organization. And if you think about it, you know, we talk about this a lot. How often does the leadoff hitter really lead off? So essentially, for Mallex Smith, he becomes a second leadoff hitter for you, but instead of batting him second, you bat him 9th, and you put him back-to-back with the top of the order anyway, when it's all said and done, outside of the first time through. And so since he's not a power guy, not a slugger, not an RBI kind of guy, he can do that.
Chops it down to first. Guzman gets there ahead of Smith, 1 away. All right, time for a Chevy game break. Let's send it back once again to Rick Renner.
It is.
All right, thanks, Rick. Top of the order here. And breaking ball, a little bit in.
So
Daniel Robertson.
Somewhat of a homecoming for Giancarlo Stanton, even though, of course, the game is in New York. But Stanton facing his old team for the first time, the Marlins. He went 0 for yesterday. He's 0 for again today, 0 for 3. Batting average down to 200 for Stanton, MVP a year ago. The Yankees, as Rick mentioned, hammered the Marlins yesterday. It was 12-1 or 14-1, whatever it was. He's getting booed at Yankee Stadium in a game that they're winning by a lot just because he's not doing well. The team is crushing it. Great day for the Yankees yesterday. And Stanton's just absolutely wearing it right now. It was 12-1 was that final yesterday. I just think, I'm thinking he's 0 for 3 with the punch out, and they're losing. Must be even worse for the big man.
Well, I'm sure it probably is. 2-1. Did he go? No. 3 balls and 1 strike. So what is the fascination with that?
Why are they booing?
Yeah, why?
Here's my conclusion. I mean, obviously there was huge expectations, but here's the bigger thing. And he's struggling, no doubt, a little bit, lots of strikeouts. But it's because the Yankees are also in 3rd place. If the Yankees were 13-2 the way the Red Sox were, I don't think he's getting booed the way that he is. But everyone kind of granted the Yankees American League East champions after they picked up Stanton. They got all excited about the Judge-Stanton combo. I think it's because they're in 3rd place right now, and just 8-7 and about to drop to 8-8.
They just need somebody to take it out on, and he's the guy.
I think so. That's my theory.
Moore's second walk issue today, both of them to Robertson. This one with 1 out. And now he will deal with Danny Echeverria, who's had a good night tonight, 2 for 2. I was looking at this morning, though, speaking of the Yankees being in 3rd place in the East. 3rd place might not be the bad place to be right now. Going down the dirt for a ball. You have the Yankees in 3rd place in the East. You have the Astros, 3rd place in the American League West. You look out in the National League Central, 3rd place is manned by the Chicago Cubs. The Dodgers are in 3rd place in the West. How about the Washington Nationals are in 4th place in the National League East? Any of those teams that I've mentioned, any of them you feel have a decent shot at getting into the postseason?
I'd say most of them. One of them won't, probably, when it's all said and done. There's going to be some team that'll be the Giants of 2017. Now, the Giants last year were horrific, and they look like a team that could potentially win the division, as Doug Roquel is meeting with Matt Moore, talking things over a little bit. But it is interesting. It's way early, of course, in the season, only at April 17th. But I don't think any of the teams that are leading their divisions right now were favorites to lead their division. Not a single one. Not Arizona, certainly not Pittsburgh, not the Mets, not Minnesota, not Boston, and not Los Angeles, the Angels. The question becomes, of those 6, who holds on? Who holds on to even win the division? I think the Red Sox maybe have the best chance.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting. I don't know. You could make some arguments. 2-0 to Echeverria. And a comebacker. Moore grabs it. Will go to second. And Kiner Falefa turns a double play. 1-6-3. And another twin killing gets Moore out of trouble in the 5th.
Whatever Doug Brocail said to Matt Moore, can that and sell it, because that was fantastic. Just 2 pitches later, Matt Moore gets a perfect double play right back to him. Makes an excellent throw to Kiner Falefa. This inning is over.
A legendary lager for legendary moments. Rangers fans, this Bud's for you. There they are again.
Nope, not touching that.
Well, 6th inning here, and the Rangers lead it 5-1. Drew Robinson leading it off. And Chirinos back out there again. And he finds the top of the zone for a strike. Robinson has bunted his way on tonight. He is also flat out to center field, 1 for 2.
It's interesting that Chirinos is back out there. We're struggling a little bit. They had Wood up in the bullpen. I kind of assumed maybe that would be it for him. We showed the pitch count situation and what he has done, but they'll keep him in there, at least for now, as Wood continues to throw. And I wonder if part of this may be trying to build up that pitch count a little bit. You see pitch number 82 on the way here to Drew Robinson. And eventually, the Rays are probably going to have to go to a standard 5-man rotation. The reason that they're working this deal with kind of what they're calling their bullpen days and moving guys in and out is because of all the off days that they've had early. You and I were talking about that last night. But once those off days go away, it'll become a little bit more difficult to try to pull off the bullpen day.
2 balls, 2 strikes on Robinson. Yeah, they had, what, 8 off days in the first 34 games, which is a lot.
Seems like the wrong team to give a lot of off days too early, right, as far as the weather goes and everything else.
Robinson lifts it high in the air out to right center, but that one hangs up too long, and Gomez gets to it, 1 away. Well, the next Texas Chili Company Dollar Hot Dog Night is Wednesday, April 25th. Rangers and A's. You come on out to Globe Life Park, enjoy ballpark hot dogs for just $1 each. TexasRangers.com for the tickets, or 972 Rangers. That one will be the finale against the A's for the Dollar Hot Dogs. The A's playing a big game tonight out on the West Coast as they celebrate their 50th anniversary, and tonight the anniversary of the first game ever played out there in Oakland. So They're expecting a big crowd and a lot of fun out there. It's a 1-strike pitch to Carlos Tocci, a swing and a miss, strike 2. Tocci, the base hit to right field when the hit and run was on, and then he lined out in the 4th inning, took a good pass at the ball in that at bat. So a couple of good swings tonight for him. But he strikes out swinging here, and there are 2 away. Chirino still just shy of 90 pitches, but to your point when we started this conversation in this inning about Tocci, pardon me, Chirinos, you definitely get the feeling that his next appearance for the Rays is going to be in 5 days. Barring an off day, I guess I didn't check that, but he'll be up in the rotation again next time it comes around. The guy who's giving him some trouble tonight is Shin-Soo Choo, a couple of walks and a sac fly. Chirinos has been very careful with him.
Kind of watching the communication between the Rays bullpen and their dugout, and they were asking if Wood was ready, and they gave him the signal back from the bullpen coach that he was, which gave me the impression that had Tocci gotten on.
Well, this ball belted high in the air out there to right field, and that one all the way back toward the tank, and it is gone. It looks like it bounces back in, but that is off the ring, the D ring that Gallo hit yesterday, and when you hit that catwalk, it's a home run. 4th of the year for Choo.
Second night in a row that we have seen a Ranger hit the D ring, and what I was going to say is I thought that if Tocci had gotten on, that there was a good chance that Chirinos' night would have been over because of the issues in the at-bats that Choo has had so far tonight. A couple of walks and a sac fly, but it's one batter too late, and Choo knew it right away. As he hammers this ball to right center, you'll see it there. It's amazing how many balls will actually hit that catwalk. It's not that big. And then it comes straight down. It was a home run nonetheless, and Chirinos' night is all over. Tonight is over. 6 runs allowed after the solo home run from Shin-Soo Choo, and now Hunter Wood will take over. There's Choo. And here's the pitch, the last one of the night. 2-seam fastball. Started at middle, wanted to start it on the outer third, let it run maybe on the corner off the plate. In this location that Choo did not miss.
Ground ball, third base. Snyder picks it cleanly. And it's 2 pitches for Wood to finish the inning. But the Rangers head to the bottom of the 6th with a 6-1 lead. coming up on Saturday. Middle game of the series with the Mariners. First 15,000 fans 14 and older are going to get a Rangers pullover courtesy of Globe Life. Get your tickets at TexasRangers.com or call 972 Rangers. Carlos Gomez 0 for 2. And that one apparently a little bit high for ball one. I was checking to see whether or not he went around. The pitch on its own merit might have been a close one too. There's a big swing and a miss there.
Carlos Gomez going with the one-handed swing. When it was all said and done right there, it was a big one and looked like one hand slipped off. Carlos Gomez is a guy that would make me wish that we could have bat speed. One hand again. Bottom hand keeps slipping off for Carlos Gomez, just to give you an idea of how hard he is swinging. And it's much easier to hit with two hands.
1-2. And a swing and a miss. Strike three for the second time tonight. Moore strikes him out. One away here in the sixth inning. Now a word from our friends at Southwest Kia.
$250 down, $250 a month or less on select new Kias in stock only at southwestkia.com.
One away. Moore pitching very well so far tonight. Crone's gotten him for a couple of base hits so far. Takes a high strike. How much the familiarity, the comfort level of just coming back to a ballpark, in the case for Moore, the ballpark in which he came up in the big leagues. How much can you credit that for the way he's pitching tonight?
Oh, I think it helps a ton. You know, he obviously loved it here. This is where his career started. We highlighted some of the success that he has had here in the past. And you come in, you've got to go into a different clubhouse and sit on a different side of the field and warm up in the other bullpen. But it is the same mound, same atmosphere that he is used to. And so that certainly is something that feels good. So I believe it absolutely contributes. And I'm thinking about this as he hit C.J. Cron with a pitch. How many guys are here for when Matt Moore was here only 2 years ago? Probably not very many.
Not yet.
Right?
Not many, no.
As far as, you know, one thing you come back, of course, and facing former teammates, that's always a little bit unusual. Kevin Kiermaier out. Duffy was in the trade, right, for Matt Moore? He's hurt anyway. Of course, Evan Longoria is gone as far as the big guys that have been here for a while, or were here. Listen, Ramos wasn't here 2 years ago, was he?
Wasn't active, he was injured.
Yeah. I wonder if there's any guys that he played with in the lineup tonight.
In the lineup, probably not. So this is taking a look at what Moore did as a Ray. 2011 through 16, 94 games. Winning record, 39-28. Great earned run average, the all-star. 1-2. Count now on Ramos. One man on, one out. Bottom of the sixth inning.
Matt Moore traded at the 2016 deadline, correct? Whenever made 12 starts. Strictly guessing.
Ramos strikes out swinging. 2 punch outs in the inning. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, strictly guessing. I don't think there's anybody here he played with. Not in tonight's lineup.
Echeverria wouldn't have been here.
Nope.
Gomez wasn't here. Johnny Field.
Alan Smith was not here.
Nope.
He was with the Braves in 2016.
There's Brandon Snyder, slow roller shortstop, and Kiner Falefa has plenty of time and retires Snyder to win the sixth. Matt Moore, very sharp through 6 innings tonight. Built for baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. Francisco Lindor. This in the 5th inning tonight in Puerto Rico. A 2-run homer, a young man who just this week was visiting his former elementary school down in Puerto Rico, and the place just went bananas. What a great moment down there in Puerto Rico today. And what a great couple of days they've had.
Yeah, that alone makes that trip worth it. I mean, so exciting for the people of Puerto Rico, first of all, to see some of their own stars come back. Francisco Lindor, one of the biggest right now. And it was interesting, I was talking to Eduardo Perez today, who, of course, he grew up in Puerto Rico. And he was telling me that there's more Cleveland Indian fans than any other team in Puerto Rico. The majority are Cleveland Indians fans. There's a couple other teams, of course, got some great Puerto Rican stars that play for other big league teams. But he said absolutely the highest percentage of team fans are fans of the Cleveland Indians.
Mazara going the other way into left field, a base hit. His first hit of the night. But the 3rd time he has reached base.
Third baseman, Adrian Beltre.
That brings up Adrian Beltre.
Nomar Mazara, as we know, we talk about it a lot, his ability to use the entire field. This pitch is up, out of the zone, and a lot of times you get pull happy when you see something all the way up there. It's a really nice job and a good at-bat.
So now Adrian Beltre. Foul this one away. Adrian's driven in a couple with those sac flies today, so some productive at bats. And they were meaningful too. The first run of the game. 0-2. Wood getting a strike call up at the top of the zone. Beltre, see that wry little smile on his face. Not in agreement. Hunter Wood came on last inning. Needed just 2 pitches to get the final out.
Take the hair away. He's got a little bit of the Tim Lincecum build to him.
This one lined out to right field. Base hit. Mazara drops anchor at second. Beltre had a hustle over to first base. They tried to throw him out, the old right field to first trick. Gomez playing some games with his old teammate.
Well, you can always count on Carlos Gomez to take a little bit of a chance defensively, and I got to tell you, if they weren't friends, this conversation might have gone in a little bit of a different direction. Great job by Adrian to drill that ball to right field. Another high pitch. Saw Nomar do the same thing previously, and Carlos comes in and makes this throw on the run, and look at Adrian's reaction right away. That's quite the throw, by the way, from Carlos Gomez. We know he has a good arm. Trying to show up his former teammate, future Hall of Famer. Even C.J. Cron was a little bit surprised. That reaction. I'm going to tell you, initial reaction, maybe not playful. I don't know if Adrian loved that so much that since he beat it out, they can have a little bit of fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. I don't think he was digging that at all.
No apologies, though, from Carlos Gomez.
Yeah, looks like he can laugh about it now. That's Gomez. I mean, that is not a surprise to me that he would do that.
Nope, not at all.
Now Woods, 1 strike offering, fouled away.
Keeps missing up in the zone, playing with fire a little bit with the middle of the Rangers lineup right now. Wood pitched in 1 game last year in the big leagues, 1/3 of an inning for him. Retired the only batter that he faced. He actually finished off a game.
That was Nomar Mazara. That
Oh,
was the
really?
guy he faced. He was up for 1 day. Got in the game, faced 1 hitter. It was Mazara, and he got him. And that was the entirety of his big league career prior to tonight.
So the next batter he faces a year later in the big leagues, first one he faces, Nomar Mazara. Right? Oh, no, that's right. He finished off last inning. That's right.
Kind of left the last inning.
But it's some really good numbers in AAA this year. He pitched 6 innings. He had 12 strikeouts to 1 walk. That's an 18/9 strikeout rate, obviously very early in the season. He's generating some pretty unbelievable swing and miss at the AAA level.
Breaking ball. And he strikes out Gallo for the first out of the inning.
tell you what's impressive about this breaking ball is how slow it was. Joey Gallo saw one earlier in the at-bat at 72 miles an hour, so the speed differential right now. Fastball to the curveball for Wood. Doesn't have an overpowering fastball. We've seen 92, 93, but that breaking ball, slow curveball, was pretty nasty.
Oh, Guzman takes low for a ball. (6-1) Rangers lead. Guzman delivered the real big hit so far in this one. Two-run double. Two and 0. Beltre at first. Zara out there at second base. Small crowd here tonight at Tropicana. This one lifted down the left field line. Field giving chase and lays out for. Wow, what a play. Are you kidding me? They can go and get it in the outfield.
Certainly can. A lot of room in foul territory here at the Trop, and of course you always got to worry about dealing with the bullpen mound as well. But watch Field here as he goes after this ball. Look like it died on him a little bit as he starts getting around it and coming in. It's an excellent play. It was full extension to get that ball just right behind the Rangers bullpen mound. But yeah, that is a great catch. Sliding on the turf.
Juan Centeno now takes low.
I mean, how many? A handful of ballparks where that ball's still in play.
No,
Oakland,
very few.
obviously, but that's in the stands at home for sure. Globe Life Park. You're certainly not diving in first.
Yeah, I mean,
that's the other part of it. Even if it's close to maybe staying in, you're not going to get that ball because you have to slow up and pull up for the wall.
A little extra room out there. That's a great play by Field. Malik Smith in center field has even better speed. Although he's still learning a little bit how to play the outfield. This one will be a routine play for Field. And the inning is done. The Rangers leave a pair. But as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, inside the Trop, Rangers lead by 5. Buick. Visit your local Buick dealer today. (6-1) Matt Moore pitching very well so far tonight. And Grammy Award-winning Tejano group Signo will be performing a post-game concert this Sunday. Come watch the Mariners and Rangers, final game of the series at 2:05 start, and enjoy the concert after the game. Go to texasrangers.com/concerts for game tickets and information on how you can see the Signo concert from the field. So underway in the 7th inning. Moore, that was just his 81st pitch of the night. Rob Refsnyder, 7th place hitter. They've been getting good production at the bottom of the order. He has a hit tonight. Rolls this one to Kiner Falefa. 1 away.
It's good to see Matt Moore getting deep into this game. He'd really struggled coming into this one. Over his last 2 starts, he went a combined 8 1/3 innings. With 7 walks to just 3 strikeouts, 9 runs. 8 of those had been earned, and so a much different story for him this evening. That is certainly good to see as you see what he has done so far here. 11 ground outs, 4 flyouts, 1 run. It's been unearned. He's allowed 2 walks tonight as well. See if he can get through 7. The last time Matt Moore went 7 innings or more, Dave Raymond, August 18th of last year against the Philadelphia Phillies. 10 starts.
Fouled away, 0-2.
Johnny Field made a nice play last inning. Foul territory. You see what he's done here so far this evening, 0-2. Matt Moore. This will be interesting if this comes up post game or not. And I don't always trust information that we get. You know, pitch recognition can be a little bit difficult, and it's not an exact science, but it's certainly pretty close. But according to the Inside Edge data so far, which is a service that we use, it does an excellent job. A lot of great information. It says here that he's thrown 12 cutters tonight.
Oh.
Cutter was supposed to be a pitch. It was no longer. Now, sometimes a four-seam fastball that has a little accidental cut will get picked up automatically as a cutter. I wonder if Matt Moore's decided to dig in, throw that cutter again. There's a beautiful backdoor breaking ball for called strike 3.
Strikeouts starting to pile up now in this 7th inning. And a couple last inning. It's Refsnyder, pardon me, Field here.
A good pitch. Now, they were trying to go in, but you know what? Sometimes you miss your spot, and it still has a really good effect. And on the 5th pitch of the at-bat, even though it was an 0-2 count, it was 5 pitches in. And it almost looked like they did that on purpose, the backdoor curveball, even though Juan Centeno was set up in. You'll take it.
Fastball a little low. Malik Smith 0 for 2. Had 4 hits last night. You see the season average now is dipped below 400.
So we saw that from him yesterday. The big swing down to one knee as if he was trying to leave the yard. I heard Kevin Cash talking about it here on their pregame for radio, saying, well, we know that's not the kind of hitter he is. We're not expecting the power or him to get too big with his swing. It's 2 nights in a row, though. We've seen Malik Smith and a hitter's count get a little big.
Spoils that one. 1-2 the count. It looks like some bullpen activity. Kevin Jepson getting ready, even though the pitch count's still well in check.
A 90 right now for Matt Moore. I would say this, you know, based on what we're just talking about, the last 2 starts hadn't gone that great for Matt Moore. You certainly don't want to let him get too deep, get himself in any trouble. Anything that happens here, you want him leaving on a positive note. He's got a nice 6-1 lead. I'd say if he get one of the next 2 batters, we'll probably call it an evening for Matt Moore. We'll see what Jeff Bannister decides.
Ooh, way off the plate.
A little bit of an overthrow there from Matt Moore, and you saw Juan Centeno step out and kind of give him that direction, almost if those guys that bring us in when we come in the airport, right? They got those things in their hand, they're guiding us in. Juan Centeno trying to guide Matt Moore toward the plate. He pulled off that one a little bit.
3-2, check swing, and that is strike 3. So back-to-back strikeouts finished the 7th inning, and Moore has spun a doozy so far tonight.
Now it's been an excellent night for Matt Moore. 4th strikeout in the last 2 innings, and a painted fastball down and away, and he and Centeno knew it.
Bannister and his pitching coach, Doug Brocail, with some, I think, words of congratulation and appreciation for what he has done tonight. Dan Worthen. That was a good one tonight.
It certainly was, and good to see Matt Moore have a strong outing here against his former team, but I think more importantly for himself, just kind of getting back on track after a couple of rough ones. And that's an interesting conversation, I think, there surrounding Matt Moore and maybe some of the pitch usage. Command was really good tonight. Some big pitches when he had to, but really not very many threats in his Tampa offense.
Drew Robinson, 1 for 3. His first look tonight at Hunter Wood, who came in to get the final out of the 6th inning. That big bender misses high.
A part of what's happening here with what we were talking about with the Rays and what they're doing with their pitchers and 5th days of bullpen day and everything else is that they're trying to get extended outings out of some of their relievers, and then it's almost like they have a taxi squad in what they're doing. A lot of movement. You look at their roster and their transactions, and you're going to see a lot of pitchers kind of going up and down. That's part of it. There's at least one move. Was it 2 pitchers they added today, or 1?
Well,
Yarbrough was activated today, was he not? I was having a hard time keeping up, to be honest with you. There's so many changes.
Full count now on Robinson. No, today, let's see.
Who went down? He pitched.
Who went down
last night?
So Wood up. Yep. And no, Brendan Snyder was the other.
Okay.
The other at today.
Oh, and Wood.
Yeah. Wood and Snyder.
So that's what you see. That, who did a nice job last night? Pitched well in his 2 2/3 innings. When you have that extended outing and based on how they're running things, and you can kind of look at it 2 different ways. If you're in this system, there's a part of you that's saying, well, I pitched well and I have to go down because they need another arm. The other part of it, though, is that more guys will get opportunities because there's so much up and down. So 2 different ways to kind of look at it if you're a minor league pitcher right now for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Well, leadoff walk for Drew Robinson. And here is Carlos Tocci. Good stuff by Ramos. But look at this. Players 25 and under in the lineup tonight for the Rangers.
Nice job. Even I can figure out that they hit .333 this evening. A couple of doubles, a couple of walks, getting on base. Those RBIs, of course, came via the Ronald Guzman double.
Hunter goes. A little tapper down the third base side. Snyder gloves and throws. And they'll get Tochi, but Robinson advances to second base.
That's a conversation we'll continue to have here with the Rangers, especially with the injuries and what's happening now in the middle infield, middle of the field, really, all the way around. Center field, second base, shortstop, of course, with Delino out and Elvis out and Rugnano Dor out. What these guys can do, great opportunities. You certainly don't want to see the injuries. But for the other guys, even Ronald Guzman mentioned it. Not thrilled that you got the opportunity due to an injury, but that's out of your control. Nothing you can do about it. Take advantage of it the best you can. Really, the goal, obviously, you get your experience, feel good about what's going on, but then also put a little pressure on the organization when guys start getting healthy again. You're playing really well. Put that team in a spot that says, we can't lose this guy. That's what you want your manager to feel. It's what you want your general manager to feel. So we need this guy active and with us in the big leagues to help us win.
That's a good shot there in the dugout of Gallo and Guzman. And Gallo has talked about it since Guzman's been called up. Those two very good friends, and Gallo has said a number of times, I'm plenty happy to move to a different position to make room for him, which he has done. There's a strike, 2-1 to Chu. Guzman, you know, you think of all the young guys and their abilities to play numerous positions. Guzman's a first baseman. That's the reality. He's playing first base, and that's pretty much it.
Yep. DH him if you had to. Could DH him if necessary, obviously. If you want to put you in the outfield, if you want to get a heavy left-handed lineup, and if for some reason it worked out, or you wanted somebody else in left field, if you wanted Joey Gallo to play first. I mean, either one of those guys can DH, I guess, doesn't matter which one. But you're right, he's one of the few guys defensively that doesn't have a lot of flexibility, no doubt.
Oh, Bach. I think Wood knew it. So Robinson goes to third base.
I don't think Drew Robinson was necessarily going anywhere, but for Hunter Wood, a lot of concern. Let's see if we can pick up on what happened. He comes set. Oh, yeah. Just a little bit of movement. He knew it right away. Just a little bit of movement there. After you come set, start moving again. You got to deliver that pitch, and he did not.
Breaking ball makes it a full count. The infield is all in now, up on the edge of the grass, even with the shift. Interesting, too, with the shift and everybody up. Again, the shortstop, Echeverria, positions himself between Crone and Robertson, the first and second baseman. Snyder tight to the bag at third. There's a swing and a chopper. Echeverria jumps for it, throws to the plate, and the tag. Got it. Robinson just about got in around it. And Ramos looks like he may have taken a hit or something here. I don't know. Maybe with the glove hand.
We'll see. Jeff Bannister's out right away. He wants to take a look at this replay before anything and use his allotted time to figure out whether or not they want to challenge this. He's still standing out here. We'll see the throw from Echeverria. We'll see if there's any contact. There comes the tag, and ooh, that was kind of an awkward slide there for Drew Robinson.
But it's interesting. The glove seemed to go between the legs.
Yeah, let's see it. I don't think he got him at first. Inside, he actually looks like he got him inside of his right leg instead of the left leg. That's what was strange about him. We're going to make it blocked off here a little bit.
The question is, that's very close. Yeah, and you see the glove hand a little bent up in that transaction, not unlike what we saw the other night with Chirinos.
I guess the Rangers have decided not to challenge this. It appears. But they were in the contact plate, especially when you see that higher bounce. I think it makes sense to go ahead and run, put a little pressure on the defense with one out, force them to make a throw. Echeverria, the shortstop, playing second.
6-2 put out at the plate, and Chu is on via the fielder's choice.
I mean, tonight more than ever makes the case for don't even put what part of the field he's on, right? Essentially, it's break the field up into certain sections so they can be accurate as far as where guys actually hit the ball. If you and I are talking about this later in the game, and you say, well, he grounded out to short. Well, he didn't. That would be inaccurate. We'd have to remember every single time when a guy was actually playing a different position. So it's almost like you're better off just looking at better sections of the field. He hit it in zone 4.
Yeah, I like a zone idea. Bouncer by short. Kiner Falefa with his 4th hit of the night. How about that?
Number 30, Nomar Mazar.
3 singles and a double.
Great night for Kiner Falefa. These kind of evenings don't come too often. They certainly don't come so early in your career, right? We saw his first big league hit. We saw his first big league homer. Now he's got his first 4-hit game in his career. That's what I'm talking about. Taking advantage of your playing time. He's over at short now. He's done a nice job defensively tonight. Hit a tough turn on that double play. He's certainly not replacing Elvis Andrews anytime soon, but he has done a very nice job here.
Mazar with a big swing and miss. Last 4-hit game for a Ranger was last September in Atlanta. Elvis Andrews. 4 hits. Two at second. Kiner Falefa at first, and that one pulled foul. 0-2. Kiner Falefa was 0 for 8 in the last 2 games.
Just like that, you're 4 for 12.
Yeah.
Or I guess he had 5 at bats today. Yeah. 4 for 13 now.
Yeah, that's excellent. That's fun.
Yep.
He jumped that average up a couple hundred points in a night. Rangers offense has been pretty constant tonight. 3rd and 4th innings, really the only quiet moments. Got a crowd of a little better than 8,900 here tonight, which means that the lone wolf can be heard anywhere.
Heckler's dream.
Yep.
These kind of ballparks. Thought maybe a little bit that they would have got a bump for the Matt Moore return.
Yeah.
They got about 1,000 less than yesterday. What was yesterday? 9,300 yesterday?
Yeah, good call. Yesterday was 9,360. Flare out to center field, drops in, base hit. 2 around third, he'll score. Kiner Falefa stopped at third. It's 7-1 Rangers. And Mazar driving in runs on back-to-back nights.
Number 59,
And the RBI is starting to pile up now for Nomar Mazar. A little slow starting the season. The 3-run home run last night brought him up to 5 RBIs. This will bring him now up to 6 as he does a good job staying inside this ball. Base hit up the middle, a soft liner. We should have waited to do our under 25 update. We're adding on a little bit.
Adrian Beltre now. A couple of sac flies and a base hit. And he hits this ball hard out to left field. Field got a good read and makes the play easily 2 in the inning. But the Rangers add another run. So to the bottom of the 8th we go. Rangers up by 6.
the winning number into
Visit your local Texas Ford dealer today. Ford is the best in Texas. Well, 7-1, Rangers on top as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. A little reminder, MLB At Bat is your #1 Rangers app. You can customize your experience to catch every moment this season. Get Rangers home screen icons and features like the MLB.TV Game of the Day, pitch tracking, highlights, stats, news, well, and a lot more. Download the MLB At Bat app today. There's Kevin Jepsen.
And a look at the arsenal, what we've seen so far this season from Jepsen. The fastball has been at 92 miles an hour. Curveball, occasional changeup, but it's been mostly fastball, curveball for the right-hander.
And his first offering right in there for a strike to Daniel Robertson, leadoff man for the Rays. Robertson's been on twice via the walk today. Has also bounced back to the mound, 0 for 1. Strike 2. The Rays have the 1 run. It was an unearned run on 5 hits tonight. So Matt Moore's line official. 0-2 pitch. That one bounces up there. Moore went 7 innings, 1 unearned run, 5 hits, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Moore used 93 pitches, and now Jepsen. Jepsen's been very consistent.
He's done a really nice job here so far for the Rangers. It's been early, but lefties hitting just 200 against him. Right-handers 191.
2-2.
And thanks to the great job that Jesse Chavez did yesterday, he was the only reliever to throw for the Rangers. He picked up 4 innings, and so the bullpen is pretty well rested for Jepsen. He's had 3 days of rest coming into this one. He threw an inning against the Astros back on the 13th. Third of an inning, 13 pitches.
Robertson stays alive, 2-2. Robertson, the average was a little under 270 coming in, but the on-base average was at 472. And with a couple more walks today, that number continues to climb. So he's done a real nice job in that regard, setting the table. 12 walks against 7 strikeouts. So he's been able to work the count pretty effectively.
One change we forgot to mention, I don't think we mentioned in the bullpen tonight. Tony Barnett to the DL. Dealing with some, I guess they call it shoulder.
Yeah, a little
stiffness,
discomfort and
discomfort.
stiffness in his shoulder. Back.
So Ryan Rua was activated, and Ryan Rua was actually sent down technically, I guess, yesterday. Saw him leaving the hotel yesterday morning. Didn't get very far. Turned right back around, and good to see him back in a Ranger uniform.
Jepsen gets a strikeout looking. 1 away here in the 8th.
That's what it looks like. Exchange, a pitcher for an outfielder. And of course, the Rangers had a pretty full bullpen. It has been an 8-man bullpen for most of this season. And so with Jurickson Profar right now, still active, but just kind of some precautionary measures being taken with the injury that he had yesterday. And in that concussion protocol, they decided to go with a position player. So Ryan Rua is that guy.
Yeah, the bench a little thin at the moment. Danny Echeverria, a couple of hits tonight. 2 for 3. One and 1 the count. So not a lot of activity today for this Rays offense. Yesterday they scored a season high 8 runs. Their last hit came in the 3rd inning. Since then, a walk and a hit batter is all they have had. Good strong finish by Moore. 2-1 now to Echeverria, and Jepsen trying to keep them quiet here in the 8th.
Good note here for Matt Moore with those 7 innings of work. 0 full counts for him. He has had 9, or did have 9, coming into tonight over his first 3 starts.
2-2. Echeverria went around.
This will be interesting as well as far as how Jeff Bannister will handle the pen tonight, whether or not Jepson throw 1 or 2. The Rangers have Thursday off, so it's a day game tomorrow. And one thing Jeff Bannister is always aware of, rest is important, but then too much rest sometimes can be a little bit of an issue for some of the guys, so we'll see.
Swinging a liner over short, and Echeverria with his 3rd hit of the night. A 1-out single. Well, since you bring it up, let's take a look at our progressive upcoming schedule. Tomorrow we'll wrap it up here, an afternoon contest, and then travel home. Take Thursday off. It'll be Cole Hamels and Jake Faria tomorrow, 12:10 Central Time. Then home over the weekend with Seattle. Early next week, the Oakland A's visit. And then it's back to the road again.
Finish up the season series with the Blue Jays.
How about that?
Before we get through April. Pretty unbelievable.
Gomez, and that one came in and got him. Just above the elbow, so Gomez plunked. 2 men on for the Rays.
A little fastball that gets away from Kevin Jepson here, who's trying to go down and away. Sometimes you overthrow when you're trying to get to the opposite arm side. That front shoulder will open up a little bit, and the fastball will just take off on you, and that, I believe, is what we saw here.
Yeah, Carlos, a guy who does get hit a lot. Remember last year, he went through a couple of weeks where he was really upset because he felt like every time he stepped in there, somebody was throwing one right at him. This one grounded to third. Beltre's second one. The relay on to first. Double play. 5-4-3. So after the hit batter, just like that, a double play, and the inning is done.
Kevin Jepson's done a good job of getting ground balls when he's needed them. He gets one here, and a great turn by the Rangers. Lead over the Tampa Bay Rays, and let's take a look at the work that Matt Moore did tonight. It was some good work, 93 pitches when it was all said and done. Good location with the fastball tonight. The off-speed pitch is very good as well, as you see him elevating a fastball there against Carlos Gomez. I don't think that might have been a cutter down and in. We'll talk about that pitch a little bit more. Breaking ball, well located. Nice fastball to Malik Smith. He didn't like it, but that was a strike all the way. When it was all said and done for Matt Moore, 7 innings pitched, 5 hits, 1 run. It was not earned. 2 walks to his 6 strikeouts, and as I mentioned, 93 pitches for the left-hander. Certainly his best start to date here in a Texas Rangers uniform.
Good night for him to get it against his former ball club. And now in the 9th inning, the Rays have gone to their bullpen, bringing on right-hander Alex Colomé. 7-1. Colomé faced Joey Gallo to start things and gets a strike call on a pitch I think Gallo thought was off the plate.
Colomé essentially a 2-pitch pitcher. You'll see a fastball that sits around 94. I'm just going to call it a slider. I'm not going to say what it says here. I'm just going to call it a slider that sits at 89 miles per hour. Sometimes it looks like a cutter.
That's sort of first base. Crone takes care of Gallo for out number 1. So somewhere kind of a
you can put them
combination
together.
of the two.
Yeah, slider cutter combination. Here's the numbers so far for Colomé. A little bit of a slow start to the season. How about the opponent's batting average through his 6 games? .462 ERA. Pretty high. It's early. Some struggles there. 4 strikeouts to 4 walks. And 1 long ball so far. But the thing that sticks out, the 2 losses. You know, we talk about reliever wins sometimes and how they don't matter, but reliever losses probably a little bit more reflective of some struggles that he's had so far this year.
One in there for a strike to Guzman, who had the 2-run double in the 5th. .313 average. His first week in the big leagues has gone really well for Guzman. But in a hole here, 0-2.
Pretty live fastball there at 95 miles an hour, but another live fastball down there as Matt Bush gets ready, and I didn't even have to look what happened. That reaction right there told me he just launched the ball past the catcher, and then I looked down, and sure enough, there was a ball rolling behind home plate. That is one of the things that will happen here in Tampa, potentially. Throw a pitch in the dirt, and it's going to end up behind home plate, and you have to stop play. You just kind of hope that it doesn't hit your third base coach. When you're sitting there warming up, you're sitting in the kind of big, wide open area. There's Matt Bush, and there's Tony Beasley. He's kind of watching 2 things at once. You see him looking down at Matt Bush after that 1 ball went by, and so he's going to back it up a little bit. See him looking at Bush, and then he'll look in to the game pitch.
2-2 for Guzman. So, yeah, look at him.
He's always said 2. Maybe 2 have come by so far. You got to be on your toes. A lot of pressure there as a third base coach. You got baseballs coming at you from all different angles. Got to make split-second decisions. Send them, hold them up.
Guzman swings and misses strike 3. So Colomé with his first strikeout of the night. 2 away here in the 9th inning.
What's interesting about Colomé too is he's had a couple of really good years. Last year, leading the league in saves with his 47. The year before, he was really, really good. 2016. You put those 2 years together, and in 122 games, he had a 2.63 ERA. Really good strikeout per 9 rate at 9.4. The walk rate 2.8. I think a lot of teams have called and tried to get their hands on Alex Colomé, but he's only got 3+ years of service time, and so the Rays have 3 more years of control. Salary starting to creep up at $5.3 million this year. Which, yikes.
Oh boy.
Well, it certainly looked like it might have had some intent behind it based on what we just saw. Now, we'll see what happens here next. I will tell you that if that was intentional, I'm a believer in get 1 shot at a guy. And if they felt like Carlos Gomez was hit on purpose and you felt like you wanted to do something in retaliation,
and that was it.
that's your shot.
I hope it was. The 1-0. This one out toward left center, sinking quickly, drops in there as a hit. The ultimate revenge for Centeno as he singles with 2 out of the 9th inning. Boy, that has to feel good.
Yeah, a little scary there for Juan Centeno on the previous pitch, and he hangs in there. It's very easy to get a little jumpy after something like that, but he stays in there very nicely on the slider. Sat down the middle of the plate, drove this ball to left field. Takes kind of that weird turf bounce right in between here. Watch it. Look at hitting Alex Smith in the face. Maybe it was his hand that came up. The ball gets down. But I learned that lesson from former Ranger. Dean Palmer told me about that one time. He and I were teammates in Detroit. Hardest nosed players I've ever played with in my career. We had a little issue, brawl and whatnot. And he said, listen, my rule is I understand sometimes it might be coming based on some things that happen during the game. Then you might get hit by a pitch, and if you felt like it's warranted and get hit in the right spot, don't hurt a guy, hit him in the leg or something, he said, I'll take my base. But if you miss me and then you try to go after me again, well, then we're going to have a problem. and that's when I'm going to come out and talk to you about it. And he said, I'm not going to stand up there and be target practice for you. And I think it's a fair point. And we saw some of that happen in baseball. Right, the issues with the Padres, the issues with the Yankees. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong here, so don't hold me to this. But I think Joe Kelly might have missed Tyler Ross in the first time, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, okay. I wasn't aware of that.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I happened to one of those two. I can't remember if I'm getting them confused. But point being is, you know, a lot of guys will tell you, not that they're happy to get hit, but they're not going to stand up there until you figure it out either. You get one shot if they even think it's warranted. If it's more than that, that's going to cause a problem.
I'd say the most egregious example I've ever witnessed, and I mean, it's happened. I mean, let's face it, it's happened plenty of times. I saw Russ Springer go after Barry Bonds, and Russ Springer was kind of a hard-nosed guy.
I remember that, actually.
And Russ came up and in on Bonds, missed him. Came up again right by his neck, missed him. Missed him a third time, and finally a fourth time, got him. And that didn't feel right.
No, it's unacceptable. It really is. I mean, I get the other side of it. If you're trying to stick up for a teammate, if you feel like you're supposed to do something, whatever it may be. I know some people really struggle with that part of our game. I always say that, you know, these unwritten rules, people struggle with that whole concept. It's always up to the guys out there. The 750 that are active on any given night in Major League Baseball, that's their decision. They decide how they want to handle those kinds of things and what's right and what's wrong. We all have an opinion, but it's really kind of up to them on how they want to handle their situations. But I am a believer in the one-shot rule, if it's even warranted. I know some people say, when is it even warranted? When is it okay to throw a 95-mile-an-hour fastball at another player? Well, up near the head certainly is never okay. Some other things happen here and there. If you got to drill a guy in the leg, I get it.
1-2 to Robinson. A little bit outside. Robinson has singled and walked today, so he's been on twice. A couple of fly ball outs for him as well. And they do shift on him on the infield, playing him to pull. Colomé trying to get it to the bottom of the ninth inning, and the pitch on the way. That's low.
Now here's the other thing that kind of goes into that, these conversations that happen in the development. I think you and I believe, at least I believe, I shouldn't speak for you, that what Kevin Jepson did was an accident to Carlos Gomez. He was trying to go down and away, missed pretty badly, and caught him. I don't think there was any retaliation for Carlos Gomez trying to throw out Adrian Beltre at first. Colomé's looked like there might have been some intent behind it. Maybe not. Looked like there was. But the question becomes, is it over? Matt Bush is coming in next. You know what I mean? Because it's a difference between a guy getting hit in the elbow and then throwing up one near a guy's head.
Bouncer first base. Crone bobbles it and now feeds Colomé in time to get Robinson. The inning is done. So the Rangers leave a man. And now we'll go to the last of the ninth inning. Bush likely coming on with a 6-run lead. You're always a showstopper.
Dang it. Feel like
Matt
it.
Bush just hopes to be the game stopper here tonight. Not a safe spot.
Good fastball for Matt Bush, averaging 97 miles an hour. Slider and curveball as well for him in the mix.
Pop up down the right field line. Foul is strike one on Ramos.
And kind of new for Matt Bush. We'll continue to talk about this with the pitch repertoire for him. Manipulating that slider a little bit more. At times it'll have a cutter look. If you see it at 93, 94 miles an hour. With a little bit of that right to left movement. That's still the slider. Just a little adjustment on the release point. The way it comes out of his hand, so it makes it an even tighter, much more difficult pitch to pick up.
This one lifted down the right side, heading deep toward the corner, and that one is gone. Snuck it in by the pole. Ramos with a home run, his first of the year. It's a 7-2 ball game.
Take a look at this pitch from Matt Moore. Excuse me, that's Matt Bush. After a fastball that was elevated in the zone, this one was down in middle. Just barely squeaked out of here. Gosh, a little frustrating there. That indent in the wall as it comes in.
So Brandon Snyder now. Snyder 0 for 3 today. He takes a strike. It's 0-2. 7 runs on 12 hits for the Rangers. They've made 2 errors tonight. Snyder just called up today. Rays have 2 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Pitch from Bush, off the plate.
And part of the appeal for the Rays with Snyder, a guy that they really liked in spring training. He was a late cut down to the last day. They like the flexibility. We talk about it a lot. Versatility defensively. You can put him at either corner outfield position. You can put him at either corner infield position. Kevin Cash referred to him as a manager's dream. Nice compliment. I'm sure Snyder said, well, then how come I have to go to AAA to start the year? But they certainly do like that versatility and opportunity now here. Knox once again for Snyder. Played for the Orioles, Red Sox, Rangers, and Braves.
Big swing and a miss, and he strikes out swinging in the 9th. 1 away. So tomorrow we'll wrap this thing up as we take a look at our Ford probables. Cole Hamels making his 5th start of the year already. Jacob Faria making his 4th start of the year, and it's been a little bit of a struggle for him, an ERA over 8 so far. All right, Rob Refsnyder is 1 for 3. Takes a breaking ball for a strike. Bush, the 3rd pitcher of the night for the Rangers. Moore went 7. Jepson pitched the 8th. And now Bush. Strike call. Now
99 miles an hour from Matt Bush. Pitch had some carry on it. Good rotation. I should say spin rate is the proper term.
One hopper, second base. And Robinson takes care of Refsnyder. 2 away.
Another good fastball from Matt Bush, and the one hopper to Drew Robinson does a good job of keeping it right in front of him. Gathering that baseball and throwing it over. It looked like he was tempted to try to pick that ball up with his glove for half a second and thought better of it, picked it, moved up together. It's never want to stab at a ball with your glove like that. It can be a little tricky. So he resisted that temptation, made a nice recovery.
Johnny Field attacks the first pitch, lofts it out there to right field, and Mazzara puts it away to finish the ball game 7-2. And some handshakes and high fives for the Rangers tonight. They win their third game on this road trip and even this series at a win apiece.
Yeah, nice night overall for the Texas Rangers. Matt Moore did an excellent job. Good to see him have his first real strong outing here for the Texas Rangers. That man right there, Isaiah Falefa, really nice night with his 4 hits. And a double in there to go along with his 3 singles. And here they are. We'll take you back to the first inning. This is how the game got started for Falefa. Base hit to left field. And a double in the second.